And joining me now, Texas Congressman Roger Williams. He's the House Small Business Committee chairman and a member of the House Financial Services Committee. Chairman Williams, good morning. To your initial reaction to this interview last night.
Well, I mean, it's evident she really doesn't know what she's talking about. I mean, she's a socialist. She's a big government person. She certainly doesn't understand small business and Main Street America. I mean, Main Street America, when they listen to her, you don't get scared because you can't be scared when you're in business, but you're aware of what she's saying. And when she talks about things like raising taxes, when she talks about inflation, when she talks about being able to get inventories, when she talks about you have all these IRS agents we know are going to be coming, she talks about regulations, and she talks about putting caps on what people can sell their goods for, especially the grocery industry that operates on such a small margin. I mean, this is stuff that really is not good for Main Street America. When you hear President Trump talk, you talk about cutting taxes, about cutting regulations, creating opportunity, turning the private sector back over to the economy, back over to the private sector. That's what works. That's what built this country. A big difference, and Main Street's worried about it.
Well, the vice president also, tried to defend her flip-flopping when it came to some other issues not mentioned yet. Let's watch this.
How should voters look at some of the changes that you've made, that you've explained some of here in your policy? Is it because you have more experience now and you've learned more about the information?
I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed. You mentioned the Green New Deal. I have always believed, and I have worked on it, that the climate crisis is real, that it is an urgent matter to which we should apply metrics that include holding ourselves to deadlines around time. We did that with the Inflation Reduction Act. That value has not changed. My value around what we need to do to secure our border, that value has not changed.
Well, but what she didn't say there, Congressman, is that she, inflation hit 9.1% under the Biden-Harris administration. And so that's one thing which was not followed up again. And a lot of that, of course, that inflation was caused by the spending boom, which she was the deciding vote on, in particular with the Inflation Reduction Act, which they admitted later, sir, was a climate bill.
Right. I mean, what she's saying, is all false. And people understand that, and she, frankly, does not know what she's talking about. And the fact of the matter is, Main Street is not going to be befriended by her. We already know what she's said, where she is on the border, where she is on taxes, where she is on regulation. She's trying to pull that back so she can win, and then she'll go hard left again. So this is a huge election for Main Street, but Main Street is worried about these very things she said last night, and she didn't have to answer anything. She has no solution. She has no experience. She's not a business person, and she does not know what it's like to employ people.
Well, the campaign did confirm to Fox News that she has changed her positions on a number of immigration and border security related issues. And that includes decriminalizing illegal migrant crossings, closing detention centers. Doesn't support that anymore, they say. And that a campaign advisor said that the vice president's positions have been shaped by 3 years of effective governance as part of the Biden-Harris administration. Yeah. So also last night, she defended herself when it came to the border and immigration, which we know is one of the weakest platforms for her right now, and a vulnerability, and they know that. She defended herself saying, well, I addressed the root causes. Immigration from the Southern Triangle, that is, I'm taking credit for that, because the numbers that are coming from, in particular, those specific countries, Honduras, El Salvador, et cetera, those are down.
Well, again, in my business, in the car business, that'd be called false advertising. She's not telling any truths. She, being from Texas, only time she's been to the borders in a parking lot in El Paso, Texas. She wants open borders. She talks about that. So there again, she's telling falsehoods. She's telling lies to try to become the President of the United States. And I don't think the American people are going to buy into it. And certainly Main Street America sees right through what she's saying. And they're very concerned about what she's saying and how she acts. And that, again, that's why this election is important. We literally can save Main Street by electing Donald Trump and get the economy back where it belongs. Let the government get out of our lives.
There is some news coming out of El Paso I want to ask you about. So the city's on high alert for members of that Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. They received reports they were moving through Mexico, a large group, and then crossing into the U.S. near the southern border town of El Paso. Governor Jared Polis up in Colorado, he's dismissed the gang's takeover of apartment buildings in Aurora. That's a suburb of Denver. Polis called it, quote, imagination, despite video evidence and police reports and the city's mayors confirming that this gang has infiltrated Aurora. In particular, now we're talking about El Paso, Congressman. Your thoughts?
Yeah, what you saw in Aurora is pretty scary, and it happened to be under the Biden-Harris administration, where we're just letting everybody come through here. And for Jared Polis to say it's imagination, it's his imagination. I mean, it's happening right there in his state. And, of course, in Texas, we're doing everything we can to keep these people out. We're building walls, and we're trying to hire more law enforcement agencies. But this is a good example of what open borders mean, and telling people that we are not a land of laws. You just come, you do what you want to do. And they're taking a great city in Aurora, California, or Colorado, and destroying it. And this thing will happen all over if we let it. And they continue to talk about defunding law enforcement. So it's a bad program. It's all generated by Biden and Harris. She may have something else that she thinks happening down there, but it's wrong, and it's happening. It's getting worse, and going to get worse under her leadership because nobody respects what she has to say.
Congressman Roger Williams of Texas. Sir, great to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.